Hey everyone, I hope you're all having a lovely week. Let's just get straight into the energies that Source Spirit wants to share, communicate, affirm us in. It's eclipse season, which has been, I feel like, a bit of a roller coaster emotionally, spiritually, mentally, for a lot of people. So I hope everyone is feeling supported in this time, and I hope that these messages bring affirming and guidance to whoever needs them. Okay. Shuffling. Source Spirit, what guidance and affirmation do you have for us, the collective, this week? Source Spirit, what guidance and affirmation do you have? Okay, there's a few. So we have Nyansapo, the wisdom knot, symbolizes wisdom, intelligence, and ingenuity. A wise person has the capacity to choose the best means to attain a goal. So I guess starting off with this, a Adinkra symbol this week, Source is really reminding us that we have all the resources that we need, everything that we, all the answers that we need especially. And if any of us are moving through doubt or fear or anxiety in terms of making a decision, especially during eclipse season, there are a lot of, I feel like, severings or things that are ending, things that are beginning, things that are being refreshed, commitments and contracts, or the things that we are involved in are being looked at to be reestablished. So a lot of things that are coming up are ancestral things or things that have been generationally passed down that we're moving through. I feel like it's important for us to take note of that some of the things that we are moving through are generational, and that we actually have the generational wisdom to move through whatever challenges and obstacles that we are facing, because individually each of us is an ancestor, and I guess we are all individually capable of moving through those things, because it's I don't like using the word karma, but because it's the effect of what has been inherited. I hope that makes sense. Or just what has been passed down. And I feel like with this message this week, Source is reminding us that if we're feeling a bit lost or confused or seeking answers in any sort of way, that it's important for us to come into ourselves to find those answers instead of looking too much to external sources. Obviously, it's all good to seek encouragement and guidance and affirmation or whatever from friends or spaces like this. But I feel like today and this week, Source is reminding us that our wisdom is tied to us, because Nyansapo, like Nyansa means wisdom and Po means knot. So it's a literal knot that we're tied to that can't be severed, essentially, and to remember how close we are to that wisdom, because it's something that we have inherited, again, generationally, ancestrally, and just being a part of Source in general. We all have access to that wisdom. And at the base of the deck, there's I'll marry you, a symbol of commitment and perseverance. This Adinkra symbol here, which again is just reminding us that we really need to take a look at what we're committed to. So that's our connections, our relationships, our work, anything that we're committed to in general, even our home, our creativity, and really looking at, I feel like, how we can pour into those aspects of ourselves more, or really looking at our commitments, and if we're committed to the most aligned or positive things for ourselves right now. And if we're trying to figure out what we need to commit to, or if we should release certain commitments or move forward in certain ones or start afresh, Source is reminding us that we have that wisdom and we're tied to it. So all the answers that we need are within us. So maybe some of us need to spend some time in stillness and accessing that wisdom this week, or just affirming ourselves and speaking life over ourselves if we are feeling a bit confused or lost. So affirmations could be, I am tied to wisdom. I am one with wisdom. I am wise. I make decisions. I commit to my connections, creativity, work, whatever it is, through wisdom. And it's also really important this week for us to evaluate our decisions and look at even the ways in which we maybe haven't made wise decisions in the past, and there could be certain things that are coming back, or circling back, things that feel similar. So certain patterns that we maybe are coming up again in us, or certain connections that are coming up for us to reevaluate and look at. I think, a question that Source is asking us to reflect on is this a wise commitment for me as well? Okay, and so we also have independence. Independence comes with hard work. He who does not know, a symbol of lifelong learning. And then God never dies, therefore I cannot die. A symbol of God's omnipresence and the perpetual existence of the human spirit. I feel like Source is really training us in this week, in this season, to really be tied to that wisdom in order to access our independence. And every time, I always talk about this card in readings, so if you've gotten a personal reading from me before, I've probably explained this card in my interpretation of it. But this Adinkra symbol is meant to represent a golden stool that is the essence, the spirit, the life force of the tribe that has been passed down through generations. So pretty much a treasure, a tonga, something that is generational. And so there's strong reminders here, going back to this wisdom, Adinkra symbol, that the wealth in the not just knowledge, but the wisdom that we have, that we can actually access within ourselves, is tied to this independence. And I'm seeing it as like wisdom aids our independence. So as we are able to make wise decisions or move in wiser ways than we have before, than our ancestors have, because maybe we know certain things that they didn't, or we know things now that we didn't in the past. This is actually feeding our ancestral lineage, or feeding this independence, or this generational wealth that has been carried. So essentially what your grandparents have worked on, what your parents have worked on, and now what you are working on, which has been passed down to you. I hope that makes sense. There's a beautiful independence here that a lot of us have the ability or have the opportunity to cultivate and continue to nurture. And I think some of us also need to be reminded that independence isn't just for us. Yes, we get to experience that independence, but it's actually something that is supposed to be carried down, so that the others that we give to, or the ones that are coming after us, are able to experience independence in ways that we never have as well. So I guess it's important for us this week to reflect on that a little bit. why we make wise decisions for ourselves as well. There might be a little bit of resistance this week in knowing what's best for us, but kind of still ignoring it, or not even taking the time to sit with ourselves and listen into our own inner wisdom and what that is, because of resistance or fear, anxiety, whatever it may be. But maybe some of us this week are needing to look a little bit deeper, or just remember that we are tied to that wisdom, and that this is a lifelong journey as well. And there are going to be so many different ways in which we navigate our independence and tap deeper into our own wisdom. And I guess reminders as well, wisdom isn't just knowledge. So knowledge is just having information. So, for example, I could know how do I put this? Someone could have come to me and given me the information of how to get to a certain destination, but that's not actually wisdom. Wisdom is, or could be seen as, gained from the experience of actually going down the journey. And maybe we haven't in this life gone through that journey or that process, but we could have in other lives, if you believe in that, or our ancestors or our parents or our grandparents could have certain wisdom that is passed down through us just genetically and through our DNA and our memory, our bodily memory. So I think that Source is reminding us this week that learning about this wisdom, delving deep into this wisdom within our ancestral lineage, through, not even just through that, also through, I see what we love, what we want to gain more knowledge on, and pairing that with the wisdom, if that makes sense. I feel like Source is calling us to flow a little bit deeper into our interests and the things that I guess come naturally to us. So our talents, our gifts, or the things that we are wanting to know a little bit more about. Source is encouraging us to seek knowledge and to seek wisdom through research, through moving out of our comfort zone, delving into the sides and aspects of things as well that maybe we don't usually delve into. When I look at this Adinkra symbol, there are so many different structures, and that's great, but there are so many different branches off these structures as well, and so many different avenues at which we can move on or gain knowledge or wisdom on. So I feel like Source is calling us to explore a little bit as well, explore within our independence, and to remind ourselves that some of us are a lot more independent or have a lot more privilege or access to certain things that our ancestors didn't. So how can we utilize that as we move forward within our commitments and our partnerships? What do you know now that your parents don't or your grandparents don't? And how can you take that wisdom and move forward in a way that is going to continue to support this independence, however that resonates with you? It's not a time or a space to ignore the things that are coming up for us generationally. I feel like there are some of us that are like really noticing the patterns that have moved through our ancestral line, like our blood lineage. And if we're seeing that we're repeating those same patterns, then it's important for us to look at how we can balance that out for ourselves, or bring a little bit more balance into those spaces within ourselves. And then we have God never dies, therefore I cannot die, which I really love. I love this one. Again, this is a generational or ancestral symbol to me of carrying the fuel and the ancestral flame and passions forward. So the things that we are passionate about naturally, usually those are the things that our ancestors were passionate about as well, and I feel like Source is calling us to carry those things forward too, and to feel encouraged in that process. If we really enjoy doing something, I'm hearing if we really enjoy doing something or working towards something or moving towards something in higher knowledge that feeds our independence and, brings us closer to that wisdom that we have, we're really supported in that. This is also a reminder that Nyame, Source, God, is always around, and that there are challenges that we move through being human, but we're always connected to Source, and because we are always connected to Source, we can still keep moving and evolving in this life and into the next one as well. So I think Source is really reminding us to refuel our fire. So however that comes naturally to you, recharge yourself. For me, I literally like to go and sit out in the sun if I'm feeling like not very motivated, or feeling lack, or feeling not worthy, or feeling like I can't access this wisdom, or feeling a bit lost or confused, or whatever it may be. I will literally go outside and sit in the sun to recharge myself. So I really suggest that if any of you are feeling a bit heavy through this eclipse season, because there are some big shifts and changes that a lot of us are moving through and going to have to accept. And there's a lot of resistance. So it's important for us to access the support that we need to move through any of these things, and to continue to commit to our journey and what being wise or to us looks like, or accessing that wisdom within. I feel like Source is also really, saying that we have support as well, and that Source is supporting us through everything and wants to support us. So really lean on your positive habits and things this week as much as you can. Do the things that really recharge you and bring you back to your center. So again, that could be like going out into the sun, going out for a walk, journaling, grounding, doing exercise, whatever it is that brings you back to your core, to your inherent wisdom. Source is calling us to connect to that this week. And there are so many different avenues in which we can do that. So I think I will leave that there for this week, but I guess the main messages were reminders that we're really tied to the wisdom that is within us through our DNA, through our ancestral lineage, and also through just straight connection to Source or God or the universe or nature or whatever it is to you. And reminders to refuel ourselves, do the things that we can to motivate ourselves, get our heads into the things that we are wanting to seek knowledge on. So if you're wanting something's interesting you, or a topic is interesting you, it's a good week to just delve into that and spend time. I'm hearing like activating the mind and and really fueling what is driving our independence forward, and looking at things from the bigger picture generationally, and not just thinking about how things are affecting us in the moment. So I will end that there. I hope everyone is having an okay week, and I'm sending heaps and heaps of love for the moon that's coming up as well.